All right, today we're going to zoom all the way in on a piece of tech that honestly holds our digital lives together. It's this tiny little chip that does a massive job, and we're about to pull back the curtain and see exactly what makes it so special.
I mean, have you ever really stopped to think about it? All those photos, your music, the crucial bits of software that make your gadgets work, where does it all live? It's not just floating in the cloud. A lot of it is stored on powerful, tiny memory chips, just like the one we're looking at today.
So here's our game plan. We'll start with why these chips are the unsung heroes of our tech. Then, we're going to decode the chip's wild-looking name. We'll get into what makes it so fast and reliable, see where it pops up in the real world, and then meet the companies that actually design it and get it into our favorite devices. You know, you can think of almost every piece of tech you own as having a tiny, silent librarian inside. It's working non-stop, filing away and retrieving all the important information. And that, my friends, is what a memory chip does. They're the real MVPs. And this is the star of our show today, the XT27Q04A. So what is it? It's a high-density, non-volatile memory chip. Now, non-volatile is just a fancy way of saying it holds on to its data even when you turn the power off. And that is absolutely critical, right?
Okay, I know what you're thinking. That name, XT27Q04A, it looks like a cat walked across the keyboard. But believe it or not, every single one of those letters and numbers tells us something important about what this chip can do. Let's crack the code.
The tech at the heart of this chip is called parallel SLC NAND Flash. Whoa, that's a mouthful. So, NAND Flash is just a really common type of memory. But the key part here is SLC, which stands for single-level cell. This little detail is the secret sauce behind its two biggest superpowers, amazing speed and rock-solid reliability. See? It's all right there. XT tells you the maker is XTX Technology. 04A tells us it holds 4 gigabits of data. But check out that letter I at the end. That's a big deal. It means this chip is industrial grade. It can handle some seriously extreme temperatures, all the way from a freezing -40 to a blistering 85 degrees Celsius. The whole story is right there in the name.
So we know what it's called and what it's made of, but let's dig into the performance. What are the key features that make an engineer choose this chip for their new gadget?
So remember that SLC thing? Here's the deal. Think of an SLC cell like a simple light switch. It's either on or it's off, 1 or 0. It's super fast and incredibly durable. Now other types, like MLC or TLC, they're more like dimmer switches. They can store more information in the same space, which is great, but they're slower and they wear out a lot faster. So for jobs where you absolutely cannot afford failure, SLC is the undisputed king.
Now, its storage capacity is 4 gigabits, which is 512 megabytes. And you might be thinking, hey, my phone has way more than that. And you're right, but this chip isn't for storing your cat videos. It's for holding the essential software, the firmware, that makes a device boot up and run properly. And for that job, this is a whole lot of space.
And get this, we're talking about data retention of about 10 years, with no power connected at all. That is what you call reliability. You can store something on this chip, put it on a shelf for a decade, and that data will still be there safe and sound. And speed? How about an access time of just 25 nanoseconds? It's almost impossible to imagine how fast that is. It's billionths of a second. It means that when a device needs a piece of information, it gets it pretty much instantly. No lag, no waiting. And there's more. The chip just sips power. It runs on a super low voltage and doesn't draw much current at all. That makes it absolutely perfect for anything that runs on a battery. You combine that with its efficient data handling and fast race times, and what you get is a really, really well-designed piece of hardware. This diagram here is like the chip's internal highway map. You've got the I/O control over here. That's the on and off ramp for data. From there, data flows into this massive grid in the middle, which is the memory itself. And this whole traffic system is managed by the control logic. It's like a tiny, perfectly organized city built for one thing, moving data fast. Okay, so we've got this fast, super reliable, low-power memory chip. That's cool. But where do you actually find it? Let's connect the dots from the tech specs to the stuff we use every single day.
You know, the best place to look is often straight from the source. The official datasheet says it's perfect for things like solid-state storage, voice recorders, and digital cameras. Basically, anywhere you need to store important data reliably without having to worry about power.
And here we are. This tiny little component on the left, with all its connections, becomes the memory and the brains for the cameras and recorders we use all the time.
Its speed is what lets your camera snap and save a photo in a blink, and its reliability is what makes sure that photo is still there next week.
A piece of tech this sophisticated doesn't just happen by accident, right? There are some seriously smart people behind it. So let's talk about the company that actually designs and builds these things.
The company behind this chip is XTX Technology. They are the specialists, the wizards who actually design and manufacture these incredibly complex memory components.
And this is their whole world. XTX Technology lives and breathes this stuff. They are laser-focused on creating these kinds of high-performance, non-volatile memory chips. They're the architects behind the magic.
But there's one last crucial piece to this puzzle. Let's say you're building a new gadget. You can't just call up the factory and order a handful of these chips, right? You need thousands, maybe millions. So how do you get them?
Well, that's where a company like eBetter comes into play. They're a distributor, and they are the absolutely essential link in the chain. They make sure that these amazing components from XTX get into the hands of the companies that are building the next generation of tech products.
All right, so let's tie this all together. The XT27Q04A is a highly specialized memory chip, built from the ground up for speed and insane reliability. That makes it the perfect choice for devices like cameras and recorders. And it takes this whole ecosystem, from the brilliant engineers at X-Tech to the logistics pros at eBetter, to get this technology into the products that shape our world.
When you really think about it, these tiny chips are the digital librarians for everything we do. They're everywhere, working silently in the background. And it makes you wonder, as these components get even smaller, faster, and more powerful, what incredible new things will they allow us to dream up next?